Hello. Right now it is 5:22 a.m. and it is August the 18th. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you to whoever the girl was who was brave enough to put her testimony forward against Junaid. Junaid has been literally trying to scam these girls, thinking of them as being properties, not other people's daughters or sisters, and he has been harassing me all day and night long to force me to go and scam other people's daughters, literally after vandalizing my car, breaking the front under part of it, and even threatening to take oil out of my car. Now, the thing that is really important before we get to the talking point that Junaid has to make and how it doesn't make any sense to begin with, since he is a criminal and he's making talking points against something that is not a crime, we have to first get to the bottom of who this person is that accused Junaid of sexual harassment. And it has everything to do with it, mainly due to the fact that Junaid asked me to scam these girls. So it has everything to do with me, since Junaid was asking me to scam these girls. Now, let me put forward one of the girls that he was asking me. This is July 17th at 7:12 a.m. And he's asking me with the Together ad to work together to scam a girl out here. So basically what he does is, on this morning after the Together ad, I refuse and I say that I do not want to do it. Then at 7:33 a.m., he threatens with the safe light, basically saying that he's going to break my windshield if I do not scam this girl. The ad comes right after the safe light ad. Was it Moana? So the court needs to ask Junaid if the girl that put the testimony forward against Junaid, if it is Moana or not, because Junaid has been running after her, and now that same morning, that same sequence of ads, it shows the CeraVe ad, which is the cream that Junaid uses. So let me put it through one more time so the courts can understand better. So basically what ends up happening is, in the morning of July 17th, 7:12 a.m., he puts in the Together ad, as in to say, can we work together in scamming the girls? Obviously, I say no, and due to which Junaid immediately afterwards, a little while later, threatens. Now these ads come one after the other. Threatens first with the Safe Light repair ad on my TV screen to say that he's going to break my windshield after he's already broken my car between June 3rd and June 8th, 5-day period where he did break my car, followed immediately by the Moana ad. This is supposed to represent a girl that Junaid has been trying to scam, basically giving me all these threats that he's going to break my windshield, take oil out of my car if I don't help him scam this girl by the name Moana. If I do not help him scam her by sleeping with her and then passing her around to people like Junaid the pervert, then he will do things like break my windshield. Now, right after that ad comes the CeraVe ad, because CeraVe is a cream that he uses himself. So basically, the first question that the courts need to ask him is, has he been accused of sexual harassment lately? And if he has, then was it the girl by the name Moana, mainly due to the fact that this has absolutely everything to do with this case, due to the fact that Junaid has been harassing me and threatening me that he's going to take oil out of my car or break my windshield or do all of these things, where this sequence of ad, the windshield basically comes right before. So for basically first he says, can you help me work together to try and scam these girls? To which I say no. A little while later, he first says, I'm going to break your windshield. Okay, with the Safe Light ad, he says, I'm going to break your windshield if you do not help me scam this girl. Comes right after the windshield ad, Moana, that is supposed to be a girl's name. And then right afterwards, you have the CeraVe cream, basically saying that this is Junaid, and he wants this girl scammed. So basically, yes, the ads came one after the other. other on the same morning, and the three ads came in together, basically Safelite, Moana, and Saravi, basically saying that Junaid is going to break your windshield if you don't help him scam this girl with the name Moana. First, they asked me a little earlier, around 7:12 a.m., if I was willing to help. First, obviously, I said no, I'm not willing to help. To which they said this. Now, the thing that the courts need to understand is this has absolutely everything to do with me and this trial and this case, mainly due to the fact that Junaid had been using law enforcement and this trial to try to force me to go scam other people's daughters and sisters into first sleeping with me and then passing them around to people like Junaid. He wanted these girls scammed. At first, he scammed them by giving them a fake CEO story, and then afterwards, when they found out that the story was false, when the girls would ask about me, he would basically tell me that he wanted these girls scammed by me. In order for me to do this, fulfill this, the for Junaid, basically they were threatening to take oil out of my car, break my windshield, slash my tires, all of these kinds of things. Now, the thing that I have to show is these threats are actually very recent, very recent indeed, not that long ago. In fact, this is a threat by Junaid on August the 15th. Now, you have to understand that Moana is one of the girls that he used by name, saying that she has to be scammed. So on August the 15th, this one last kill is basically supposed to be a death threat that if I don't help him, then he will literally murder me. That is what the threat means. Yes, it is that serious. And on August the 15th, he has put up 9:07 p.m. that he's going to take oil out of my car. And then on August the 16th, he is 12 minutes past midnight, he is saying the same thing. I'm going to take oil out of your car. Now, the only girl that he is used to force me, one of the only girls that he's used to try to force me to scam is Moana. So obviously my first instinct goes over to Moana. She would have to be the person accusing, mainly due to the fact that if she's accusing, there is no way she is lying, mainly due to the fact that we have phone call records where Junaid is literally telling law enforcement that he is so crazed into sexually harassing her, molesting her, touching her, or scamming her, basically. She is so into scamming her for sex right now that he would literally murder me, as you just saw right now with the one last kill. Only about 2 days ago it was sent to me. So basically, yes, this was sent to me not that long ago, since right now you have to look at the time and the date. It's not that long ago, okay? And Junaid sent this to me on August the 15th at about an hour and 2 minutes after midnight, saying that he is going to murder me if I do not help him scam the girls. Mainly, one of the only girls that he used by name is Moana, which means that if she makes a testimony claiming that Junaid sexually molested her or did anything to her, you can rest assured that there's no way he did not. Okay, because he has been threatening me all day and night long, saying that he's going to take oil out of my car, murder me, break my windshield, and do all of these kinds of things if I do not help him basically scam this girl. So basically, yes. So the probability of him not molesting her or not trying to scam her is absolutely zero, considering the fact that he's asking law enforcement all day and night long to help him scam these girls, mainly by using me, since they might be asking about my name. Now, this is July 17th, same thing, together, and then I refuse, due to which he says, I'm going to break your windshield with the Safelite ad right over there. And then a little while later, he just in the same sequence of ads, he names the girl as one of the only girls that he named that he wants scammed through law enforcement. He names the girl as one of the only girls that he wants scammed. And then he puts a Saravi ad in there to try to say that this is him accusing the girl. This is him wanting the girl scammed. The probability of her not being harassed by him, sexually molested by him, is absolutely zero, considering the fact that we have Junaid on the phone conversation telling law enforcement that he wants this girl scammed, he wants her scammed through me, and that he wants it done as fast as possible. Now, he's been threatening me after breaking my things, like the front under part of my car, which means that he's totally serious about scamming her. Now, he did try to scam her earlier by telling her a fake CEO story, claiming that he's a CEO and this and that, only for her to find out that the entire story was false. Not only was it false, he started calling other girls, maybe not exactly her, but other girls, and telling them that started calling other girls and telling them that the entire story was false himself, through his own mouth, out of fear that before the other person tells everything, he went ahead and told the girls, saying that the CEO story was false, and also the fact that that he was losing his job every year, he was getting into fights at work, and that he works the same job and earns the same amount of money as my sister. Due to which, getting into fights at work every day, he was trying to get an early retirement every single year, with this year being a confirmed case. So basically, Junaid over here, it's not possible for him to not be scamming Moana, mainly due to the fact that we have him on phone conversations telling law enforcement to break my car first on right after, between June 3rd and June 8th, between a 5-day time period, to vandalize my car and break it, the front under part of my car, only to send a message to say that he was serious about wanting to scam these girls, and that if I did not comply, then he would start breaking other things. Now, the thing about it is the fact that right after that, Junaid goes ahead and he starts putting these threats forward, mainly that he's going to take oil out of my car, break my windshield. But you have to remember that Moana is one of the girls that he named, one of the only girls that he named, and said that this girl I want scammed by law enforcement. And he also said that if I do not comply with scamming her, then he will break my windshield, which means that it is obviously it cannot possibly be a wrongful testimony, mainly due to the fact that we have him on phone saying to law enforcement that he wants my windshield broken if this girl is not scammed. Basically, you have to look at the definition of scam. Definition of scam is basically the fact that you are misleading someone, lying to someone, making them think one thing in order to take something out of them. Basically, you get someone to give you their car, and all you give them in return is a pencil. So you basically make the girl think that you are CEO and that you are willing to marry the girl, and when in fact you are not. You're earning the same amount as my sister, working the same job. The only difference is he's getting into fights with people at work every single day, due to which he almost gets an early retirement every year, with this year being a confirmed case. This is not something that I am saying. This is something that Junaid himself called the girls and started telling them. As soon as he found out that the CEO story was found out about, he started calling the girls and telling them the entire story. The fact that he gets into fights at work every single day, he loses his job every year, and that he works the same job and earns the same amount as my sister. The only difference being that he tries to get an early retirement every year, with this year being a confirmed case. So basically, Junaid, the thing that the courts have to understand about Junaid is the fact that he is a scammer and a liar, and he has been trying to threaten me to force me to scam these girls. We have him on record, on phone call, basically threatening me through law enforcement to murder me, take oil out of my car, break my windshield if I do not scam these these girls for him by basically using court chatter on my artificial intelligence being literally the most profitable one in the world to first go and sleep with these girls and then pass them around to people like Junaid. This is what Junaid wants, since when you look at the phone conversation of Junaid from July 17th, the morning of July 17th, when he started asking me mainly for this girl named Moana, and first asking me to work together with him, and a little while later, after I refused, saying that he's going to break my windshield. In the same sequence of ads, then he says that he wants this girl scanned right over here. Her name is Moana. He wanted her scanned. And law enforcement is going to find out within 10 seconds who this girl mainly represented. And then it's a Saravi ad, meaning that it's Junaid who wants her scammed, and he wants me to help her get scammed. Courts have to understand the fact that scamming someone is a crime. Scamming them for certain things is a crime. It's like theft. And scamming them for sex is pretty much like rape. You are telling them you are one person when in fact you are someone totally different. And you have, when you sleep with that person after telling them that you are someone totally different, then basically you have pretty much raped them. You were able to get close to them, touch them, making a fake identity of someone that you were not. That means that you raped them. You were not the person that you were pretending to be. You basically raped them. It's kind of like the same as you trick someone into giving them a pencil in exchange for getting a car from them. That is theft. It's, yes, you might say that I did give them a pencil. That might be true, but you did get a car from them, and that is theft. That's called scamming someone. He basically raped the girl if he told her false stories about himself. And the other thing that the courts have to understand is Moana happens to be one of the girls that he used by name, saying that he wants her scammed at any cost. Not only that, he also used threats in order to say that if I did not comply with these requests, then he would break my things. Not only that, he did break my things. He broke something in my living room, a couple things in my living room through law enforcement. He also had the front under part of my car fully broken, snatched out through law enforcement between June 3rd and June 8th, between a 5-day time period. Law enforcement themselves are a witness to the fact that this vandalism did in fact occur. And the reason that it occurred was because he wanted Moana scammed. The reason we know that it was Moana is because of the fact that he used her name. He said that I want Moana scammed. He did it on July 17th at 7:12 a.m. first. He asked if I was willing to work together with him. I said no. And then later, a few minutes later, he says that I'm going to break your windshield if you do not scam Moana for me. So he did in fact want Moana scammed. Okay, so it is beyond a reasonable doubt. This is the cream lotion that Junaid uses. It is beyond a reasonable doubt that Junaid definitely wanted Moana scammed, and he was trying to force me to scam her into sleeping with him. Basically, first I go and sleep with the girl, and then I pass her around to people like Junaid. This is a scam, scamming someone for sex with using a fake identity that you then call the girls and basically confess that that was a fake identity and that you're lied. Basically, you scam the girl for sex, which means that you raped her. You weren't the person you were pretending to be. Basically, yes, that is what he had done. Now, it's the same as if you trade someone a pencil for a car, you have committed theft. In the same way, when you are able to sleep with a person, basically by tricking them into thinking something that you're not, then you have committed rape. And right after doing that, Junaid did call the girls, one of them, and and tell her that he worked the same job, earned the same amount as my sister, and that the only difference was he was getting into fights at work every single day, and that he was trying to get an early retirement every year, with this year being a confirmed case. So basically, yes, it cannot be false, mainly due to the fact that we have him on phone record, basically confessing and telling law enforcement to threaten me. If you're threatening me to scam a girl, then you want her scammed, and if you're scamming her for sex, then that is rape. So this testimony by the girl cannot be false, and you just have to ask Junaid if he did ask law enforcement to ask me to scam Moana on the morning of July 17th or not, due to which they were threatening to break my windshield. Did he tell Moana all these stories about himself being a CEO that were false or not? Obviously, this testimony by the girl cannot be false, mainly due to the fact that we know for a fact Junaid was trying to scam her, and he used her name and said, I want her scammed on the morning of July 17th, and he said that I want this girl scammed, and I want Hassan to know that if he does not help me scam her, then we're gonna break his windshield. Same sequence of ads, just look right over here. So it starts with a Safelite ad and then moves over to Moana, and after Moana you are going to get Cerave cream. Basically, that represents Junaid. So he basically said, I want this girl scammed. I want her scammed at any cost. And I want Hassan to realize that if he does not help me scam her, then I will break his windshield. Now, that is a threat towards me. That is vandalism. That is illegal. I understand that. But when you scam someone for sex, then that is rape. And he has been trying to scam her almost as if she's some sort of a property, and that I should go and tried scamming people's daughters, when in fact that is not the right thing to do. So I had to let the courts know about this, and the fact that they need to ask Junaid the basic question: did he ask me to scam Moana on morning of July 17th or not? Very simple yes or no question. Does he realize that scamming someone for sex is basically the same as rape, just like how you scam someone for an item is basically the same as theft. You trade pencil for a car, that is theft. And so did he tell Moana his CEO story that he'd been telling the girls before he called them and told them that he had lied and all the truth about it right afterwards, out of fear that the person who told her the CEO story might tell her the entire truth? Did he do these things or not? Simple questions that he has to answer. Now, this has everything to do with this trial and me, mainly due to the fact that he had been threatening me that if I did not help him scam these girls who are testifying against him, then he will literally break my windshield. Just like that. Safelite means windshield. And he used the girl's name as being Moana right over there. So this has everything to do with me. Not only due to that, but also due to the fact that these threats have now changed into being very bad threats. Let me show you exactly what I mean. These threats have now changed into being basically death threats. And this is not too long ago. See, right now it is what? 5:44 a.m., August the 18th. So it has, this is from August the 15th, only an hour after August the 15th. And it is basically right over there. It says right here, it says one last kill. Right over there, it says the last kill, basically saying that he's going to murder me if I don't help him scam these girls. So right after that, he also says on August the 15th at 9:07 p.m., he's saying, I'm going to take oil out of your car. Now, this is meaning that he's going to take oil out of my car since a very long time, since early June, very early June. And then on August the 16th, 12 minutes past midnight, he says the same exact thing again. I'm going to take oil out of your car. Now, Junaid has to answer a very simple question. Did he or did he not asked me to scam Moana on the morning of July 17th. Did he or did he not threaten and break my windshield on the morning of July 17th, saying that he would, not any other girl, but with the sequence of ads for that day, you have to look at the sequence of ads for that day. It was only for one person that day. It was for one person and one person only, and that was just Moana. So this is what happens in the morning of July 17th, but a little while later, just a few minutes later, it is, I'm going to break your windshield. Now look at the timing over here. Just right after that one, you have immediately after that, it's Moana. So it's only that I'm going to break your windshield that morning for Moana. Because if you don't help me scam Moana, then I'm going to break your windshield. Now, this is a lotion that he uses, so we know this for a fact that it was him. So he has to answer the very simple, basic question: did he or did he not, on the morning of July 17th, on phone conversation, ask law enforcement to tell me that if I did not comply with scamming Moana because she was asking about me, then he will break my windshield if I did not scam Moana that very morning of July 17th. Did he or did he not say this? If he says, whatever he says, we'll take his word for it because we have him on the phone conversation basically saying it. So yes, and if he did do this, did he also tell Moana his CEO story that he's a CEO or not? Okay, that's this question number 2. Question number 3 is, does Junaid know that scamming someone for sex and making up stories about themselves, or using someone like me to go and scam them for sex to pass them around, despite my brain savant not even being freed yet, and despite him knowing that I'm not going to marry her, since I already have someone in mind, does he know that scamming someone for sex is the same as rape, just like how scamming someone for an item is the same as theft? So if Junaid did order law enforcement on the morning of July 17th to basically scam her into sleeping with him using me and using court chatter of my brain savant being extremely rare and profitable to get this girl Moana scammed on the morning of July 17th, then he has to realize that this is scamming someone and threatening me if I refuse to scam her into sleeping with me first and then passing her around to someone like Junaid. And does he know that scamming someone for sex is the same as rape? They're very simple questions that Junaid has to answer, please. Thank you very much.